What's going on, guys? You're in with Hardy Tech, and welcome to the very first episode of Hardy vs. Enter Pokemon's name here. It's a lot less dramatic when I say it that way, unfortunately. This is a series where I'm going to be randomly generating a Pokemon, and I will be just talking to you guys about it. This is going to be completely unscripted. I do have, like, bullet points, like, not about the Pokemon, just about, like, I'm going to go intro, background appearance, usefulness, memories, blah, blah, blah. But this is going to be completely unscripted, me completely just atoming everything and talking to you guys about a specific Pokemon. And today's first Pokemon is going to be Metagross. So I was looking up Metagross on Bulbapedia just now to try to get some basic info about what I might want to say. And I actually learned something rather interesting, and that is Metagross actually has 4 brains. And I didn't know that. I had no idea that it was like rivaling a supercomputer in its intelligence, and so I don't actually know if it's smarter than Alakazam or not. We should look into that someday, but I've always liked the idea of Metagross's evolution because I think it took an idea from Generation 1 where multiple Pokemon come together, and it actually did it correctly. Like Dugtrio is literally just 3 Digletts, except I think one of them got like a bigger nose. Magneton is just 3 Magnemites. They never did that idea very good in Generation 1 in my opinion, and this made it so much better because I love the idea you could see the parts of like the Beldum and you could see where Beldum came into it, but it still looks like a new Pokemon. And the same with Metang as well, because apparently when 2 Beldums come together, Metang is evolved, obviously, and it has 2 brains, and then when 2 Metangs come together, it forms a Metagross and it has 4 brains. I had no idea about that. I just found that out. I think that's really cool. That's a really cool concept that I wish they would have done in Generation 1 because Magneton probably could have looked a lot cooler than it does now. And I don't actually know how Magnezone is created, if that's like 6 Magnemites. I don't know. But Magneton is a Pokemon whose just appearance in general, I really, really like because it has that idea of like multiple Pokemon of the same species coming together and forming this. And it just seems really, really cool in my opinion. Also, it has like a mask, but it also kind of looks like a mustache, and it has like spikes coming out of its face in its Mega Evolution. It just looks really cool. It's one of the most badass looking Pokemon in my opinion, and I'm a huge fan of Metagross's design, but its usefulness is completely different. But it's not completely different. It's really cool. It's badass as hell. Alright, Metagross destroys things. I hate facing Metagrosses because I don't think it has a lot of weaknesses, does it? I think it's just... Oh, wow. Okay, never mind. I forgot Generation 6 happened. It has Ground, Ghost, Fire, and Dark, but in my early memories of Generation 3, I hated facing Steven because his Metagross was a giant pain, only having Ground and Fire as a weakness and being incredibly hard-hitting. Obviously, it is a pseudo-legendary. It has 135 attack when it's not Mega Evolved. When it is Mega Evolved, it gets to like 145. And Metagross is a Pokemon that can run special or physical sets. And those kind of Pokemon, in my opinion, are incredibly dangerous to face because you don't know what you're going to be going at. A lot of Pokemon, specialize towards one or the other. But then you get Pokemon like Metagross and a few others who can do both very, very viably, and you never know what you're going to be facing, and they're so hard to prepare for. Obviously, when you're going to be facing them against the AI, you can get an idea beforehand because you can just look at their moveset, but especially in competitive battling, I definitely feel Metagross is a very, very dangerous Pokemon, and someone I'm very afraid to battle of whenever that ends up happening, unfortunately. Which, luckily for me, I almost never competitive battle, so that's not a big issue for me anymore. But I remember all the way back when I used to play Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire, and Steven ended up giving you a Beldum, and I was so hyped because I knew about Metagross at this time. Even though it was my first playthrough of a Pokemon game ever, I was aware of Metagross because of the anime and just other media, and I was really excited about the idea of having one until I realized that meant having to use a Beldum, which is crap. Beldum definitely reminds me of Magikarp, how if you put the work into it, you're going to get a really, really good Pokemon. And to its credit, Beldum is probably more useful than Magikarp because at least it has Takedown, and I think in some games it gets like Zen Headbutt, and maybe that's just hacks actually. I'm trying to remember if it gets Zen Headbutt at all in any normal games. I don't remember, but even just Metang unfortunately isn't that good to use, but a lot of times the very best Pokemon you have to struggle and suffer a lot with, and it sucks. But I don't actually think I ever got a Metagross, unfortunately, because I didn't want to put the work with that Beldum. It doesn't help that you get it so late in the game. Like, there's only one gym after you get Beldum. And I wasn't about to just stop everything to train up this level 5 Pokemon up to, like, level 50 so I could use it in the Elite Four. Like, I just freaking caught a Groudon. What do I need this little stupid arm thing for? I don't, because Groudon fucking earthquakes everything. It's really cool. I can't wait to get to the Groudon episode, because I'm just going to be like, Earthquake! Earthquake everything! Earthquakes are dangerous, though. Don't talk negatively about earthquakes. Like, Japan has those. It's really sad. I'm sorry, Japan. Was that offensive? Is that like a curse word to Japan? I don't actually know. That's a random thing to say. Huh. But at the end of each of these episodes, I'm going to give a quote-unquote rating on a Pokemon on my personal feelings of it, going from hate, dislike, meh, like, and love. And I definitely like Metagross. I wouldn't say I love it because I wouldn't put it in, like, my top 20 Pokemon or whatever. But for the most part, I have nothing but good memories and feelings about this Pokemon. But what are your feelings and opinions on Metagross? I'm very curious to know down in the comment section below. But in the meantime, thank you guys for watching this pilot debut test episode of Hardy Versus. I will see you guys next time. Until then, I'm Hardy Tack.